In this video, I'm going to show you 7 keyword hacks in Google Ads. Now, this video is going to be purely concentrated on keywords only, and these are hacks that you're going to want to implement with your Google Ads campaigns, which a lot of people neglect, and they think, hey, why our account isn't running properly, because what keyword strategies can we use? So hopefully this video will give you 7 powerful keyword hacks that you can use within your Google Ads campaign, and you must watch until the end of the video, whereby point number 7 is the one which I very rarely come across that people have actually implemented within their Google Ads campaigns. So let's get started on seven keyword hacks for Google Ads. But just before we do, my name is Ajay Dhunna. I'm a Google Ads expert. Now, what you can do is that you can get a copy of this book for absolutely free. The only thing you need to do is to cover the postage and packaging. It's called How to Win Customers with Google Ads. I've written it myself. We've taken the cost of getting the book printed. The only thing you'll need to do is to cover the cost of the shipping. So now let's get started. The first keyword hack is preventing duplicate keywords account-wide. Now, what I mean by that is as accounts get more and more mature, people come along and they'll think, hey, let's add this keyword here, or let's add that keyword there, or whatever. And especially if you've got a larger account. And what typically happens is that, what I typically find is that a lot of accounts have got duplicate keywords because they've added it in one campaign or ad group, and then they've added it in another campaign in another ad group, maybe even using the same match type. So by doing so, what you're doing is that you're getting them to compete against one another, and not any one of them is getting the true value of your optimization, because the effort that Google is spending is it's triggering one of the keywords in one campaign at some times and the other in another. So you want to make sure you've only got one keyword with the same match type in your account, unless you've got a really good reason to do so. For example, you're targeting different locations or something like that. So the easiest way to find this is just to an export of your keywords into a CSV or a spreadsheet, and then using something like Excel, you can highlight the keywords column and you can say, hey, show me all the duplicates. It's a very quick exercise that you can do to highlight your duplicate keywords, and that's going to automatically increase the efficiency of your Google Ads account. The second hack for your Google Ads account is the use of phrase match. Now, historically, what used to happen is that phrase match meant the keywords within the double quotes need to be in the same order, and you can have keywords before or after the whatever the user has typed in. Nowadays, it's not so much the case. A phrase match, what Google looks at is the intent behind the user's search. So it's more intent based. So for example, if someone's typing in men's shoes in red, and somebody else types in red shoes for men, it's more than likely to trigger the same ad. So you don't need to go and create loads of different variations of all your keywords just to make sure you've covered every single combination, because Google is smart. Google is really smart, and it knows what you're doing. So by having so many different variations of keywords, all you're doing is you're increasing your workload, and the account isn't really running so efficiently because it's using so many different keywords to mean the same thing. So what it will also mean is by relying on Google's intelligence, so that Google is going to know what the user is searching for because it's intent based, you're also reducing your management time. So you won't have to manage so many different keywords, because now you're relying on Google's intelligence to work out what the intent behind this keyword is. So in a nutshell, phrase match is intent based, and the keywords can be in any order, so you don't need to create different combinations of the keywords to mean the same thing. The third point is used themed ad groups. No more skags. Skags is a thing of the past. Single keyword ad groups is a thing of the past, right? You don't need that anymore now. But what you do need is tightly themed ad groups. So you got your ad group, and the keywords within the ad group must be very tightly themed. So Google knows what this keyword is about. So for example, if you've got anxiety therapist and you've got anxiety specialist, you don't need to put them into separate ad groups and optimizing one for anxiety specialist and optimizing another one for anxiety therapist. You can put them into the same ad group because Google knows that, hey, these things mean the same thing, and therefore we don't need to necessarily spend time working out, hey, how many different ad groups I'm going to have and how many different responsive search ads I'm going to have for each of these ad groups. You can just tightly theme them. And what it means is that your ads are then very appropriate as well. So what the user sees is very relevant to the keyword that they've searched for. So basically, reduce the number of ad groups that you have, but keep the ad groups very tightly themed, and you don't need to over optimize the keywords within any ad groups. Okay. The next one is the use of auction insights for your keywords. Now, Google Auction Insights, what it can show you is how your keywords are performing against your competitors. So what you can do is there's an auction insight report, and it will show you your keywords, and it will show you what percentage of the impression share you're getting compared to your competitors. This is a really good tool to look at because it just shows you that, hey, are we more or less in line with our competitors, or are our competitors getting the lion's share of these keywords? In which case, you know that you've got to change something within your Google Ads campaign in order to ramp up the amount of time that your keywords get shown. It could be your bid strategy, it could be your cost per click, it could be the quality score, it could be improving your search ads, but at least you can then take some type of action to make sure that you are in line with your competitors or even above your competitors, so that they are not taking the lion's share, but you're taking the lion's share of the impressions that have been served for that particular keyword. The next keyword hack is the use of broad matches in conjunction with using maximize conversion as a bid strategy. Broad match are very powerful nowadays, okay? So a lot of people are very afraid to use broad match because, yes, they do trigger a lot of irrelevant search terms. Now, this is the way broad match works. Then this is the way I would recommend. So for broad match, have it as a separate campaign. So you've got complete control of its budget, and then let it run for a while. And then at the start, it's trying to learn what keywords and what search terms the ads have been triggered for. Then what you've got to do is keep a very close eye on the negative keywords. So keep an eye on your search terms, make whatever you need into negatives, and add more longer tail broad match keywords so they're a lot more meaningful. Google is then going to pick up on what the intent behind this broad match keyword is. Now, once this starts to perform and once it starts to get conversions, and what you'll see then in a matter of a couple of weeks, so you've got to be a bit patient. In a matter of a couple of weeks, the search terms that are triggering your ad will be a lot more higher quality. So the quality of them will go higher, the relevancy will increase. Then you can implement a maximize conversion bid strategy. Then Google is the only thing Google's now worried about is it's not which search terms or keywords the ad's been triggered for, but which are more likely to convert into a conversion. I have found broad match in conjunction with maximize conversion bid strategy to work phenomenally well, but it does require a lot of attention, especially towards the start. If you've already got conversions, then that's going to help Google because it's going to use its data to actually evaluate which search terms to show you ads for. But if you haven't, don't worry about it. Just let it run. Keep a close tab on your budget, because you don't want Google to run loose. Keep a close eye on the actual negative keywords, so keep looking at them on a regular basis, especially towards the start of a campaign. Now, point number 6, which sort of follows on from point number 5, is your negative keywords. Now, this is quite obvious that everyone thinks that, hey, negative keywords, everyone does them, but the amount of campaigns that I see, that there's a whole lot of wasted budget on negative keywords which have not been implemented. And even if you spend every single day working on negative keywords, these search terms are still going to keep cropping up. Okay, so they'll never be 100%. You'll always get search terms which you can add in as a negative keyword. But also, when you're looking for negative keywords, look for the opposite as well. Look for opportunities. Don't just look for negative keywords, right? Look at them as opportunities to say, hey, which search terms are being triggered for my ad, which are getting a lot of impressions or they're getting a lot of clicks, but I have not added them as a keyword yet. In this case, instead of adding them as a negative keyword, you can add them in as an actual keyword, and then you've got complete control of the bidding for that keyword. Okay. The last point, which is point number 7, which I see very rarely implemented into an account, is which search terms are being triggered from multiple keywords. Now, what happens is that we all focus on the keywords and we all focus on negative keywords and everything else, but take a look at your search terms, and what you might find within your account is that a particular search term is being triggered by the same keyword or even through different keywords. Okay, and that's what that means, is that your account isn't really in control, because sometimes one keyword will trigger the same search term, and sometimes a different keyword will trigger the same search term. And ideally, you want to make sure that you've got full control over which keyword is triggering that search term. Now, what you can do an export of your search terms, and you can create some pivot tables to work out which keywords are triggering the same search term. That's going to reduce your workload massively. It's going to increase the efficiency of your Google Ads account. And what it's also going to be doing is that it's going to make sure that you've got full control over the search term that is triggering, or the keyword that is triggering that same search term. So you've got full control over its bidding. The algorithm's got full control, as opposed to the algorithm looking at various different keywords to trigger the same search term. It's a very important thing to do, and it's one that's been neglected by many different accounts. So make sure you pay attention to the search terms and which keywords are triggering those search terms. And that should help you to make your account more efficient. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you've got any questions, put a like, hit that like button. Give me your comments, right? What sort of comments have you got? Have you got any Google Ads hacks that you use within your business or your Google Ads account? If you do, let me know in the comments below. Don't be shy putting your comments below. You know, you're supporting me by putting your comments below, because you're making this video more engaging, and the more engaging this video is, and the more people that subscribe to it, the more people it reaches. And at the same time, please do remember, get a free copy of this book shipped to your door. It's a physical book which I have wrote myself. It's a best-selling Amazon book. It's called How to Win Customers with Google Ads. All you've got to do is to cover the postage and packaging, and the book will be shipped off to you. Take care, and look forward to seeing you on another video.